there, this is Ann Kiyonaga-Razon, host of Conversations with Ann, Journeys of Discovery. In this show, I will be speaking with folks about their stories and hearing their great wisdom. Come with me on this journey, and let's discover together. And today I have the great good fortune to be with the founder of Interview, the one that started this whole ball rolling. This is her creation. And as we can see, it's quite an awesome creation that is offering so much to everybody. And her name is Mary Lee Weir. And so let's hear a little bit from Mary Lee. Let's just say hello and just say a little bit about, where you are today. And then we might backtrack a little bit. So here's Mary Lee.
Hi, Ann. It's such a pleasure to be on your show. I think it's very lovely what you're doing here, bringing everyone together and, the journeys of discovering new modalities, a little bit about each other so that we can keep that connection alive, nourish that connection. I think it's really important. And so that's what Interview is all about. And that's what I've been on the path of myself all along, and where I am today is about how to have connection instead of separation, unity, truth, satya.
Satya.
So,
so can you explain about the, actually, let's do this. You can explain what satya means, that it's Sanskrit, obviously, and, well, not obvious to everybody, that's the point, and also, how did that name come about?
Well, that is a very, very special story for me. I had a teacher in the body. He's still my teacher, obviously. But he passed away in 2008, in December. And I was with him the last time in a center in India where he remained his last days. And I was in meditation, and I kept getting this media group popping in my head, And so I immediately left meditation, and I asked to see him. And so he was sitting on his little porch, which was overlooking the river, which is the Narmada River, and it's in Madhya Pradesh, which is central India. And so he said, come sit, and I sat before him, and it was almost like he was waiting for me to come, And so I sat before him, and he said, go and pick 5 names, and then come back and see me. So I left, excited, and I found a friend.
So you must have told him about this idea that came up in meditation.
Yeah. Oh, so obviously. Correct.
Yes.
I said, Shri, I get this media group thing, He says, go and, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact words, but so I went and found a friend of mine who happened to be on location there as well, and I said, hey, I have to pick 5 names. So we picked 5 Sanskrit names. Then I went back to Shri, and he crossed them off, which was like ahimsa and swadhyaya, and ahimsa, which means nonviolence, and swadhyaya, which means self-study, dharma, which is your life path, and karma, which is you reap as you sow, and then satya, which means truth. So we crossed off 3 of those, and there was only dharma and satya left. And I shook my head at him, and I'll never forget, I shook my head like a little child, like, not dharma,
That didn't appeal to you.
No, it didn't.
That did not appeal to her.
And he was like, well, it has to be satya then. And he said it so firmly and so clearly. And then he instructed me that you're going to form a company, and you're going to get an official stamp of your company.
Otherwise known as a logo, right?
Yeah, and I was like, my teacher he said, it's going to be official. And he's telling me this. And I was like, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so he's, guiding me in the littlest ways, in the most kind of like what you would think maybe insignificant ways, which is normal. Okay, you form a company, you get a stamp. That's typical. Right. But for me, it was so huge. And it was also what was coming from him. Right. It's like, this is, your future.
Right.
And so I left there, and I was so overwhelmed because media group to me just felt big.
Right. Well, it is big, but everything starts somewhere, as we know, and whether it be around, a dining room table or at the feet of your beloved teacher, and it sounds like you had a most auspicious start to your company. It's a very moving story. That tremendous grace came from that, your devotion to your teacher and what he helped you with. So let's explain a little bit about the different facets of Satya Media Group, what its original purpose is, what its mission statement is, and what is available to people. It's evolving and growing, so it'll become available. The facets will continue to increase. But just give us these sort of bare bone, explanations of all this, so we can be very grounded in an understanding of what a media group is and what it can bring to each and every one of us.
Sure. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you. Satya Media Group's mission is to usher in innovative concepts, insightful feature films, informative documentaries, and more into the public mainstream domain. And how we intend on doing that is by using the latest in emerging technologies in the areas of film, animation, and web development. So, and web development today doesn't just mean a website anymore. It means anything that is a personal viewing device, from a television to a phone to a tablet, and so we are dedicated to using the latest and the greatest. I'm absolutely passionate about technology, so it's going to be the latest and the greatest if I'm involved. And I really feel that Satya Media Group is here to support and assist those various spiritual leaders that we are aligned with in getting their messages out to the world. I feel truly blessed to have had periods in my life where I have been completely transformed. And so that is definitely a drive behind why I feel it's important for people to have access to amazing information and tools to help them in their transformation. Or, or just connection, just to create that connection with all that's around us.
Right.
And so that's the mission of Satya Media Group, and the things come to us.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I said I was very overwhelmed, so because I had to get clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2010, I made it a personal mission to get clear and to get grounded and to figure out what I need to do here. So I drove cross country.
Wow.
I came back to America from India, and I took a drive cross country. I spent 4 months just being by myself. I asked many people to go with me, and they all fell through because it was a journey I had to take alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up finding a dog in the middle of the Sierra Nevadas with this friend of mine. And so I found this dog, which I named her Sierra, and she was my companion who accompanied me the rest of the journey.
Perfect.
I know. So it was just such an interesting thing.
Wow.
And during that time, I got the idea for the Interview Network, which is the technology, which is using the web-based media solutions, film and photography, and the advanced technology to create a platform for all the practitioners and wellness therapists and people who are, teaching yoga and meditation in all these wonderful ways together under one blanket.
So I have come to know some of the people involved. Myself and my husband Didier are also involved, and it really is quite a wonderful group of people. And what is noticeable to me is that it's a very like-minded, high-minded connection amongst all these people that are coming together, this community-based opportunity. And it seems like we're just so much stronger when we do this, when we come together under one purpose to bring light to others, which obviously, what you give, you also receive enormously. So I wanted to mention that, and also just in terms of the detail of what's being offered starting November 2012, and obviously it's very dynamic, so probably it'll be increasing what's available. Yoga, Ayurveda, Vedic astrology, green living, as you've already mentioned a few of these, contemporary wellness therapies, such as merging psychology with yoga and presenting it thusly, and then you mentioned a 12-step wholeness program. And this is just, my sense is just the beginning. How do you feel about the present array that will become available to people very soon?
I felt that it's really grace.
Right.
I mean, and honestly, everyone just came across my path at the right time. I happened to be prepared. I happened to be right in the middle of this process, and these people just came with their teachings, with their integrity, with their light, and so there was no question of our alignment.
Right.
So honestly, I think this is a supported thing, and it's a guided thing, and I think the array of people are all here because they're meant to be here, and their message is meant to join together. Their hands are joined together, so to speak, in an invisible way, and come out to the general public and say, here's what we have for you. Here, we want to help you in this connection, connect to balanced living. It's really all about that. So it's amazing.
I
feel grateful to have been
Yes.
the instrument or the one that just sort of stuck to my guns and said, I'm going to do this. I know I need to do this, you know?
Right. I'm actually very grateful as well. Thank you very much.